Aloha and welcome. My name is Taylor Norris, and I'm a certified Galactic Astrology soul reader, as well as a Reiki master teacher. And in today's video, we will be diving into the mysteries of the upcoming Gemini full moon on November 26th, 27th, 2023. And the theme that's really coming forth in this Gemini full moon is open contact and this sense and this feeling of reaching beyond the veil. So, thank you so much for being here. Let's explore this beautiful full moon together. Before we dive in, I want to make sure that you are aware that you are invited to attend the upcoming Sagittarius New Moon Distant Reiki Share. I will be hosting this online on Zoom on December 11th at 7 a.m. Hawaii time. This is 9 a.m. Pacific. You can use a time zone converter and figure it out when it is for you and if it's a time that works for you. You don't have to have any kind of Reiki experience to attend. Everybody is welcome and it's free. To RSVP, you can go to my website, taylornorrisreiki.com. And this is an opportunity to directly experience the cosmic energies together in a sacred space of soul family and conscious community. So I would love to connect with you there. All right, so what we have here is the astrological chart of the Gemini full moon. As I mentioned, this is happening on November 26th for those of us who are living in Hawaii and maybe some other time zones, a few of us. Really, it's like thousands of us, but still, for most people, this is going to occur on November 27th. For me in Hawaii, it's happening late at night on the 26th. So hopefully I'll be able to, enjoy a clear sky and go and see the beautiful moon rise over the ocean. Fingers crossed. So, what is this Gemini frequency? Well, we have the moon that's in the sign of Gemini, and we have the sun in the sign of Sagittarius. So we're dealing with the zodiac signs that are linked to truth and knowledge and wisdom and exchanging information, communication, learning, teaching, receiving wisdom, transmitting wisdom, putting facts together, organizing thought forms, belief systems, whole structures of thought and ways of ordering reality and communicating that divine and sacred order of one's reality and the true nature of reality. Gemini is also about connecting. Gemini loves to connect, loves to talk about it, loves to hear other people talk about it, loves to get together and exchange ideas and keep accumulating pieces of information, even if there's not a larger vision of why. Gemini knows it just needs to collect the information and that at some point it'll be useful. Sagittarius is more concerned with collecting the information that is useful and refining whatever Gemini is learning and actually sharing it in a way that benefits others. A Gemini full moon is definitely a moment to really be reflecting on what have you learned? What still do you wish to learn? How do you wish to grow? How do you wish to grow in your knowledge, in your wisdom, in your communication, in your connections, in your teaching, in your mentorship, even in the ways you're sharing information. These are all topics to be reflecting upon. Maybe you're finishing a course of study. Perhaps you are Gemini. If you're finishing one, you're starting another one too. And you're probably not just starting one new course of study, you might be starting multiple, finishing multiple, reading multiple books, writing multiple books, juggling multiple projects. So don't be surprised if this is highlighting for you. Now, there's some very interesting aspects when we look at the aspects, the geometries that the other planets are making to the moon and the sun. So this really gives us a color and a flavor to how the energy is going to be expressed. So this full moon is part of a T-square with Saturn here. You see Saturn at almost 1 degree of Pisces is square both the moon and the sun. And the sun is together with Mars. So that's a Mars square Saturn, as well as Saturn squaring this full moon. Now, we could even make this a grand square by including the mean calculation, which makes her sound really nasty, but mean Lilith, the dark feminine, the cosmic feminine, another marker for the unconscious, what is hidden, what is beyond the veil, what is below the surface of conscious awareness. So, what does this mean? Well, whatever is happening, there's going to be some structure to it. There's going to be reality. This is not just Gemini being random and frivolous, which Gemini would say it's never random and frivolous. There's always a point. You just might not know it in the moment. Saturn is thinking, what course of study, what learning, what teaching, what communication, what sharing, what knowledge and wisdom are you collecting, culminating, and beginning? It is for the long term. That is ultimately for your mastery and ultimately for your spiritual mastery, as Saturn is in the sign of Pisces, the mystic, the creative, the spiritual, the one who is very comfortable traveling through the veil. Saturn in Pisces says, what veil? Especially with Neptune in Pisces co-present. What veil is that you're talking about, ma'am? I'm sorry, excuse me. I was not aware that there was a veil. The veil is a non-issue. And Saturn in Pisces is all about learning how to navigate that veil, have it there when you want it there, when you need it there, and have it disappear when you're wanting to tune in and tap into what is beyond the veil. So, courses of study, longer term for your mastery. Maybe this is a new way you're going to be sharing information, communicating information, teaching others, courses of study you're offering as well. So, very good times here. For me, I love studying and learning constantly and teaching constantly. And, by being human beings, that's one of the joys of being human is we get to be both students and teachers and hopefully ultimately become mentors as well. Mentor, apprentice, these kinds of relationships are all part of this dynamic. Now, Venus is also semi-square this Mars and the sun. So that's really going to motivate us to use our money, use our value to secure any kind of course of study we might be wanting to invest in, create a new course of study, create a new way of disseminating information, to really reflect upon what information it is that we value, What is our inner truth? What does our inner authority say about this? What do we wish to create and generate and attract? What kinds of information and wisdom are we receiving? Venus is the feminine. What are we receiving? What are the downloads? So much information can come in, and depending on our frequency, that's going to determine the frequency of the information that we are connecting with. Mars will have made its exact conjunction to the Sun on Saturday, November 18th at 25 degrees of Scorpio and 27 minutes. So we already had the most intense pressurized expression of that energy occurring on Saturday, November 18th. Maybe some of you will have been feeling interesting things happening with your energy, with your focus, with your drive, with your masculine energies as well. This could be very highly productive. It could also feel like a bit of a burnout and like you're not sure why you're needing extra rest or reflection or downtime. Or perhaps you're feeling a lot of energy and needing to work out and exercise more, or you're taking on lots of different projects. I think this energy could really express in a lot of different ways. Having that happen in Scorpio is one flavor because Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. It's very, very strong. It's very intense. It's very deep and probing and penetrating. So this would have been a good time also of learning new spiritual topics and doing some really deep alchemical work as well as regards your inner masculine. This will change its flavor and expression when the Sun enters Sagittarius on November 23rd. So having this conjunction in Sagittarius brings a lot more optimistic vibes. Thank you very much. Scorpio can feel a bit intense and deep and really almost like your head's underwater or something like that. You don't really know what's going on. You just know there's a big transformation underway. I feel like this moving into Sagittarius, this could feel a lot more expansive, a lot more empowering. It's carrying through that scorpionic empowerment, taking it to the next level, jolly in a jolly Jupiterian kind of way that's like, ho, 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 this is what it's about. And it's all good and you're feeling good. And now you can act upon it and have some shifts in your belief system so that you're able to carry out these plans and have yourself feeling more unified and integrated moving forward. There's also a quincunx. Jupiter and Taurus is in quincunx to this Mars Sun. So this is an adjustment. This is also an expansive energy like I was just talking about. So this full moon is not only like happening in the mind, Gemini, air, it's happening in the body, Mars, Sun. It's for the long term. It's affecting your reality, Saturn. It has to do with your values, your attraction principle and frequency, your creativity, Venus. And Jupiter is saying, okay, time to grow, time to expand. There's this sense of expanding beyond a certain rut or expanding beyond a certain comfort zone that's about to just break through and open up for you. Now, the breakthrough energy too is really coming through this Uranus and Taurus, which is making a finger of God, a yod, with Neptune also making a quincunx to this south node of the moon, Uranus making a quincunx to Venus, and Neptune and Uranus in sextile, this harmonious relationship to one another. And both of these kind of see the planets like holding the reins, and like Venus in the south node are like the horse's mouth. So you have Neptune one hand, Uranus one hand, then you have the horse's mouth, which is the Venus and the south node. So it really is this Venus alchemical process with the south node saying, hey, I am worthy. I value myself. I value my creativity. I value the beauty of my unique expression, my artistic talent, my creative abilities, who I am at the core of my being for just existing. There is an intense alchemical process occurring right here that Neptune and Uranus are supporting and urging us to dissolve and surrender into. Neptune and Uranus, so that we may have those breakthroughs, those awakenings, those new soul connections can be attracted to us, Venus, and come right on in. And these are likely to be connections that transcend time and space. I'm getting chills on my back, that come from other lifetimes, past lives. I mean, we're talking very deep soul connections here. Galactic lives, especially because the nodes have been working with Spica and Arcturus. These are like light filled, divine, feminine, group soul consciousness energies coming in human form, galactic form, light being form, on this side of the veil, on the other side of the veil as well. And what's more is that the shape of this chart, if we ignore Lilith here, no offense, Lilith. God bless. Nobody ignores Lilith. She just if we were to remove Lilith, this is a bowl-shaped chart. So you see that the chart is, there's energies kind of splayed out all over the place, but it's starting with this Venus in Libra and extending all the way to this moon in Gemini. And other than Lilith over here, this part of the chart is empty. This makes Lilith, even stronger. Lilith and Virgo, practical, detail-oriented, healing and bringing up maybe victim, martyr kind of energies and tendencies, low self-worth energies and tendencies, asking us to go ahead and heal that, offer that up to our guides, and really access our deep healing abilities and our ways to analyze and order and organize ourselves, our lives, and reality in a way that is beneficial and win-win. The bowl shape, though, what I'm really feeling this as is becoming and being and embodying the sacred vessel, so that these energies and frequencies from beyond the veil can come in and connect. And again, depending on your frequency, you will attract and access certain other frequencies and energies to you. So treating yourself like the sacred vessel that you are, so that that contact that is occurring is really for your highest good and your divine alignment. It feels really good. It lifts you up and expands you in the ways that you wish to expand and grow and be held and embraced and nurtured and nourished at this time. So Venus with the South Node, we already talked about, opposing this Chiron North Node energy. And it's what's called an easy opposition. The nodal axis is always in opposition perfectly to one another. But we see Venus is in sextile to Mercury. Mercury's making this sextile to Venus, and Mercury is also in trine to the North Node. Mercury and Sagittarius. We'll talk more about this in the galactic energies. But let's just say this is where really that divine receiving of the galactic contact is really, really coming in. And it's of a healing quality, especially. So there's also many sextiles in this chart. You see the sextile we just talked about between Venus and Mercury, but we even see this chain of sextiles here, starting with Mars and Sun to Pluto to Neptune and to Uranus. So this is another kind of bowl shape we are seeing in the chart, a container being formed to receive divine intelligence in our body, the intelligence and wisdom of our soul, of our spirit, our connection to all that is, our ability to wake up and connect with our galactic soul family, our soul family of light, our soul family of human beings as well, and be the sacred vessel for this high level information that wants to stream through us at this time. Very profound. We have a predominance of the fire energies and the mutable energy. So this is passionate, this is creative, this is filled with so much life force energy and vitality and radiance. It's just stunning. And the mutable energy is there with us as well, saying shift, transform, transmute, be flexible right now. Let the pieces all be up in the air and let the divine sacred order help realign them in the way that reality can be molded and mutated in a way for the highest good of you and for all that is. Okay, so turning our attention now to the Sabian symbol for the moon. It is Gemini 6, a revolutionary magazine asking for action. The keynote is the explosive tendency of repressed feelings and root emotions. So whether the revolutionary action is violent or peaceful, bitterly resentful or loving, the one desire is to reach beyond established forms. This interpretation comes from Dane Rudger, and you can see it for each degree of the zodiac on mindfire.ca. Highly recommend that website. And this symbol is really what was part of the confirmation about this beyond the veil, accessing this information from beyond the veil, reaching beyond the known and accessing that which is unknown, that which is cutting edge and leading edge and needs to be integrated and received now, that the time is now, and we can access this information, this divine intelligence within our own sacred vessels, and that the information we receive is deeply valuable and is really going to help us, and it's really going to help others as well. The Sabian symbol of the sun is also very, very supportive. So it's Sagittarius 5. An old owl sits alone on the branch of a large tree. A poised and wise approach to existence based on a clear perception of unconscious factors and their operation. One might speak here of translucidity. And translucidity is another word for translucent, allowing light to pass through partially or diffusely. And both of these symbols really remind me of that Black Moon Lilith, mean Black Moon Lilith, kind of out on her own in the chart shape, referring to the unconscious and our divine feminine that may be hidden, maybe in the shadows more, and to allow ourselves to contact and be sacred vessels and receive, allow the light to permeate us, to pass through us with all the mutable energies as well, allowing ourselves to be more formless, more kind of deconstructed so that we can be reprogrammed and reconstructed into the new humans, into the new version of ourselves. And this doesn't have to be like in a creepy AI kind of way, unless you're into that and that's your truth. That's your authentic path. This can be very organic and natural in the way we normally think about nature, just having a natural process occur, a process that is being orchestrated by light beings or galactic beings that are really just higher aspects of ourselves, enlightened aspects of ourselves, infinite source consciousness. So this is so much wisdom dropping in, and the sun shining the light of awareness, illuminating. Let me show you this card I pulled this morning. This is like really clicking in right now. This is from Stuart Pearce's Angel Heart Sigils card deck. And this is the card with Archangel Gabriel. Illumination. That's this full moon. So I wanted to show you a little bit of the in the sky astrology. Where is this full moon happening in the sky? And you see the sun and Mars on the left-hand side of the screen are in the stars of Scorpio constellation. So this is the zodiac constellation that is on the ecliptic, where the Earth and the other planets travel around the sun. The sun and Mars are in the head of the Scorpion. And up here we have Libra constellation. These would have been the claws of the Scorpion. So really, really deep insights coming through, deep illumination, soul level illumination coming through, and it's coming into our bodies as well with Mars here. Looking on the other side, we see that the moon is in the stars of Taurus constellation here, and we'll explore that in a bit more depth very soon. So Taurus, the bull, having to do with the earth, our relationship to the earth, to abundance and fertility, being steadfast, being strong, appreciating the feminine, understanding that the earth is sacred and we are in right relationship. How can we be in right relationship with the earth and with the stars in the way that the ancients were? What kind of alchemical transmutation process needs to occur in this Scorpio, the head of the Scorpion? What does the Scorpion need to be aware of? What is the Scorpion asking of us at this time? To be bold, to take charge, to be leaders, to be light bringers and light warriors in our own authentic ways, to be sovereign spiritual seekers and vessels of cosmic consciousness at this time as humans on planet Earth. Looking now at the galactic chart, this is from galacticastrochart.com. You can plug in your birthday or any date and time and receive a galactic chart like this one. This one is looking at all of the conjunct aspects, so the 0-degree aspects between the moon and the other planets with the various constellations. And I have the report showing which star in the constellation is involved. So we see we have the energy of Hyades constellation, Virgo, Boots, Ophiuchus. We have the galactic center present. The Pleiades is opposite. I did include this one because it's important. We'll look at it in just a moment. Cassiopeia constellation, Pegasus constellation, Andromeda constellation. These are all the conjunct alignments here for this chart. of the full moon in Gemini. There are many more galactic aspects that are revealed when we include the oppositions, the sextiles, the trines, and the squares also. But these are the ones, I'm just going to focus on a few of these. So as we mentioned, this full moon is interacting with the stars of Taurus, and we see it in the galactic alignments. The sun is opposite Hyadum 1 in the Hyades, and the moon is conjunct. Up here, we see the moon conjunct the Hyades. And what's also interesting, we see down here Mars opposite Alcyone star in the Pleiades. The Pleiades and the Hyades often are both just conflated into the Pleiades, because some people know more about the Pleiades. They get a lot of press, whereas the Hyades are usually less well known. However, both groups of stars are actually present in the same constellation, in the constellation of Taurus the Bull. The Hyades stars are on the face of the bull. So we have Aldebaran here in the eye. Hyades are in the face of the bull. We have Elnath here, the tip of the horn of the bull, the weapon, the charge, the I'm going to get it, I'm going to penetrate and pierce. Hyades, Aldebaran, seeing the vision, seeing with integrity. The Hyades taking up the face of the bull, and then the Pleiades here in the shoulder. There's a lot of power. There's a lot of power in that shoulder to keep on going. That's like the weight of the world too, right? The Pleiades. And that's kind of that's part of this Pleiades energy we're working with here, is that Mars and Pleiades together, Mars and Alcyone in particular, this can be the critic, the commentator on social ills. This is according to Bernadette Brady. And this can be like having a very idealized way that we think reality should be, having lots of judgments about ourselves on others and being like, why isn't it like this? Wasn't it like this? I have a problem with this, with that, with blah, 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 blah. You need to do what I do and believe what I believe, because this Mars and Sun is in Sagittarius. And it's like, it's not about that, we all need to be accessing our inner truth, our inner authority, and living in alignment with our values. This is not meant to be a monoculture earth. This is a melting pot. This is a diverse place. There is space and a place for everybody's beliefs and everybody's perspectives and everybody's opinion, even the ones that might not be in alignment with ours, right? This is very humbling energy. So we also have this Hyades energy, which brings a lot of insight and vision and mysticism in. Both Hyades and Pleiades really, to me, have this energy and frequency of the insight, the third eye open, the illumination being there, the vision. What is your vision? Again, this isn't about converting other people to your vision, but what is your vision, and what do you want to empower in the world? And instead of judging other people who are not doing your vision, just be aligning like fully with your vision and sharing your vision, allowing that to attract into your reality the experiences and the people that are frequency match for that vision, because it can be now. It can be now. It doesn't have to be in the future. What is also so cool about this is really like the Pleiadians are very well known for their contact programs. They are the beings, the star beings that are like really, really devoted to initiating contact with Earth, with humans, with other civilizations that are growing and expanding in their consciousness and getting ready to understand that they are galactic citizens, they are galactic beings, they're part of a larger galactic network. And in this larger galactic network, this galactic council of light or federation, however you want to call it, like we treat each other well. We're not fighting each other and blowing up each other's planets. Like, we're respecting one another. We are allowing for diversity. We are keeping peace and sacred order and allowing the divine unfoldment. And the Pleiades are really, really active in this and often come to us in future self, future soul aspects. So you may be experiencing this, you may be noticing the integration, the opportunity to be integrating future self aspects of your beingness through this Pleiadian energy, whether that's like a future Pleiadian self or a different star area or even a different galactic. This could be beyond the Milky Way galaxy energy or future self kind of frequency or being that's contacting you and connecting with you. So this is really, really powerful. This can also bring up grief. I will say that with the Hyades so implicated. The both sets of the Hyades and Pleiades are linked to the seven sisters, and they had a little brother who actually died, and it was said that their tears were very, very profound, and they cried and cried and cried. So there can be a lot of grief for any kinds of losses that may be experienced at this could even be, the grief of your own evolutionary process as you're letting go of these older parts of your self-belief systems that were limiting you in particular ways, relationships that, you gave them a chance, you gave them another chance, and it's just like, it's not happening. You're just not connecting on that level. So to allow yourself any grief feelings that might come up and understand you're really being supported in this, like your soul sisters and brothers and soul family will have more space to come in. So you allow this grief process to occur and they're really there for you. They're holding your hand. They are wiping your tears and they are blessing you with so much love and connection through your sacred moment and through your sacred process. So don't be surprised if there are some really strong galactic energies, some spirit guide energies wanting to come through to you, some other soul aspects and parts of yourself that are connecting in with you. And to simply ask, I use Reiki for my contact work. So really inviting in the enlightened expression, the highest possible expression of these energies and anchoring yourself in love, anchoring yourself in your connection to the infinite source consciousness, unconditional love. Again, I use Reiki because Reiki is my greatest bouncer, like the bouncer at the club, only letting like the enlightened guides in, and it's no problem. Like the loving guides, the loving energies and frequencies, and Reiki is orchestrating all of that for me. So it's very, very handy. Which brings us to the next energy I wanted to share with y'all is Mercury conjunct Alhague. Now, I might not be saying that in the best way. Alhague is how I'm choosing to say this word. It's in the constellation Ophiuchus, another challenging constellation word. And we see here it's the man in the sky, Alhague, the head of the man in the sky, holding the snake. It's one of the three serpents in the sky, along with Hydra and Draco. And Ophiuchus is kind of in between the two snakes, in between Draco up in the north and then Hydra further south. Ophiuchus is near the ecliptic. At times, Ophiuchus's foot is touching the ecliptic, and that's why every once in a while you hear news reporters saying there's a 13th zodiac sign, but really there's not, because the zodiac signs are different than the zodiac constellations in the heavens. The zodiac sign are the 12 equal parts of the ecliptic, the ecliptic divided up into 12, and it does not correlate exactly with the zodiacs up in the heavens, the zodiac constellations. So what is this all about? Well, it is all about, it's very linked into the mythology. You may be aware of the Greek healer Asclepius, another fun word to say, Asclepius. The symbol for Asclepius is this rod with the snake coiled around it. Kind of looks like a caduceus. The caduceus has the two snakes. Asclepius's rod only has the one snake. Who is Asclepius? Asclepius was an incredible healer in the Greek mythology. Asclepius was the son of Apollo and trained by Chiron to facilitate the bringing out of his profound healing gifts, and they were profound. He was the greatest healer. He was so incredible at healing, and his healings were often linked to the presence of the serpents and the snakes. So what this tells me is he is a master of the Kundalini energy and life force energy, and contained and possessed this really profound wisdom within his being of the life force energy, the energy centers and subtleties that in today's modern medicine are largely not looked at, but you have traditions like Ayurveda and Chinese medicine and others that are navigating and are aware of more subtle energies and more invisible energies. You have energy medicine healers and energy healers, Reiki practitioners that are very aware of this. Asclepius was tapping into this for sure. And he was so gifted, he could actually bring people back from the dead. And this really, really did not sit well with the gods, who eventually killed him and put him in the stars as Ophiuchus, the snake holder here, the snake charmer you sometimes hear this constellation referred to. With these gifts, he was basically enabling mortals to then become immortal if they were able to be resurrected. And the gods kind of had their claim on immortality and didn't want just regular human beings to be immortal too. So this was very, very challenging and threatening to the gods. Alhague is connected to the wisdom and healing magic of the snake, to regeneration, shedding skin, and being reborn again, to resurrection. So this full moon really is kind of a continuation of this work we were doing in eclipse season, and also with the Scorpio new moon that we had on November 12th, 13th as well. This full moon is like, we're definitely like done with eclipse season, but it's like an integration of those energies and what was coming up. So there is a chance to be resurrected here. The parts of ourselves that need to be accessed and reassimilated. With Mercury in aspect in this conjunct relationship to Alhague, there is an interest in spreading, investigating, or studying methods of healing. And this is coming from Bernadette Brady as well. So this is a great time if you are considering a course of study, that it be a course in healing, especially because, as synchronicity has it, this is a new moon, or this is a full moon in Gemini. The sign of Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and it's this Mercury that is conjunct Alhague that is all about the studying of healing methods, the investigation of healing methods. So what kind of course, what kind of information is coming in? Healing information, healing studies. You may be continuing your healing path of education, or you may be beginning. This is a great time to say yes to opening up your own innate healing gifts, because we all have innate healing gifts. We just do. We all do. We're in physical human bodies that are healing machines. That's all they're doing all the time, is bringing about homeostasis. And I believe this is the true nature of the consciousness that resides within us as well. It's all about balance and healing and regeneration as well. So whatever kind of healing path or course of study you may be drawn to or feel called to at this time, say yes. Mercury wants you to say yes. Mercury is trine to the north node of the moon, friends. Okay, this is our evolutionary path. This is where the soul growth is at. And it's in that sextile with Venus and the South Node, saying, okay, what do you value? What do you attract? Okay, like, where are you going to spend your money? Spend it on this healing course of study or on your healing path. What are your values here? How can you use your values and your self-worth? How can you develop and heal your sense of your own self-worth as well, to say, yes, you are worth healing. You have innate healing abilities and capacities that can be unlocked and unleashed within your consciousness. And they are so powerful that they've made the gods quiver and shake in the past. However, now is a safe time to explore those gifts that might have been repressed. Now is the time to say yes to being a student, a teacher, a mentor of those gifts and talents in healing ways. We need this. We need this, friends. We really, really do, because the world is very confused. Many people are very confused about how to heal, and we're needing a new paradigm of medicine and healing. I mean, many people are aware of this, right? We're needing this new paradigm. So you can be a part of that solution in whatever way you feel guided to do so. And even if you don't become someone who gives healing sessions or teaches healing classes to other people, you healing yourself and receiving the healing yourself is a gift. It heals that imprint in the collective consciousness so that others may access more healing and wholeness and vitality and radiance and life force and happiness and thriving, moving forward. So you do such a service to others when you say, yes, I am worth being on a path of healing, simply myself first, and I'll see where that leads. I'll allow that process to divinely guide me. It is my sincere hope that you found this video very valuable, very helpful. If you'd like to connect more with me, please explore my website, taylornorrisreiki.com, my YouTube channel, Taylor Norris Reiki. There's the free Sagittarius New Moon Distant Reiki Share coming up. You're welcome to attend that. I host these New Moon Reiki Shares every single month. I also offer Galactic Astrology soul readings, astrological consultations, Reiki sessions, and Reiki classes to empower you to explore and develop your own healing gifts and talents. And really, my job here, my role, is to guide you home to heaven on earth within yourself with astrology and Reiki. Thank you so much for being here. May it be a beautiful full moon in Gemini for you. Aho, amen, namaste, and so it is. Mahalo.